So in this video, we will see sorting n numbers using bubble sort. Okay, so what is meant by bubble sort is it is one of the simplest sorting algorithm. Okay, which compares the adjacent elements inside the array. For example, let me take an array with elements 8, 3, 4, 6 and 2. Okay, so it compares each adjacent elements and it sorts according to the ascending order. So what should be your output? Okay, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 8. This should be your corresponding output. Okay, so let me explain first the working principle of how this swapping is being done or how this sorting is being done. Okay, so for the first case, you know that the elements, this is the first case. Okay, so the elements inside the array is equal to 8, 3, 4, 6, 2. First it compares the first two elements, okay, 8 and 3. Now it sees whether it checks whether the first element is greater than the second element. So if the first element is greater than the second element, in this case, right, 8 is greater than 3, right? If it is greater, then there will be swapping. It swaps the element, okay? So what will be your next case? So 8 and 3 will be swapped. So 3 will come here, 8 will come here, 4, 6, 2 remains the same. Next 8 and 3 is first two elements is compared. Next it compares the next two elements. Okay. So here it compares whether 8 is greater than 4. Yes, 8 is greater than 4. So what will happen now? Now there will be again swapping. So 3, the next element 4 will come here, 8 will go to the next side, 6, 2. So in the next case, what will happen? In the first case, first and second case, second and third. Now in the third case, third and fourth element will be compared together. Whether 8 is greater than 6, yes. If it is greater, then there will be again swapping. So 3, 4, 6 will come here, 8 will go to the next place and 2. The last swapping, it checks the last two numbers, right? Again, it is greater than 2. So again, there will be swapping. So what you will be getting ultimately after the first four checking or comparisons, you will be getting 6, 2 will be shifted here, 8 will be shifted to the rightmost side. So ultimately in the first cycle, I can tell this as this is called as your pass 1. Okay, so pass 1. In the case of pass 1, your each adjacent elements are checked one by one, and then if it is greater, first element is greater, then you are going to do the swapping. Ultimately your last element will be now fixed with your greatest value. So this will be your pass 1. Similarly, now see here also you have some numbers. The 2, the least number is again in the 1, 2, 3, 4th position, right? So it has to come to the first position. So that will be continued by your next cycle or your next cycle, which is called as your pass 2. In the case of pass 2, now what will be your array? 3, 4, 6, 2, 8, right? So now again the same cycle continues. First two elements will be compared. Whether 3 is greater than 4, no. So there will be no swapping. So it remains the same. Okay, so 3, 4, 6, 2, 8. There is no swapping. Again 4 and 6 will be compared. Whether there is swapping here. Okay, 4 is greater than 6, no, it is false. So there is no swapping. 3, 4, 6, 2 and 8, it remains the same. Next, the next two elements get compared. So whether 6 is greater than 2, yes, 6 is greater. So there will be swapping here. Okay, so 3, 4, now 2 will be shifted here, 6 will come here, 8 will. Okay, so the last two elements will be checked now. Whether 6 is greater than 8, no, right? So because this is not required, because you know that the last element is swapped, last element will be the largest element by your pass 1. So what you will be getting? 3, 4, 2, 6 and 8. Okay, so this will be your pass 2. Now you will be going on to your pass 3. So in the case of pass 3, what will be your data? 3, 4, 2, 6 and 8, right? Again the cycle continues. So 3 and 4 will be compared, whether 3 is greater than 4 no, so there will be no swapping. 3, 4, 2, 6, 8, it remains the same. Next 4 and 2 will be compared, right? As 4 is greater than 2, right? So there will be swapping. So 3, 2 will come here, right? 4, 6 and 8. Now next two elements will be checked. 4 and 6 will be compared. Whether 4 is greater than 6, no, there will be no swapping, right? So you will be having 3, 2, 4, 6 and 8. The last two numbers will be compared. There will be no swapping, right? 3, 2, 4, 6 and 8. Now you will be having the next pass, pass 4. So in the pass 4, what will be the condition? 3, 2, 4, 6 and 8, right? So now what first two elements will be again checked together. So whether 3 is greater than 2, yes, 3 is greater than 2. So there will be swapping. So you will be having 2, 3, 4, 6 and 8. Now next two numbers will be checked. Whether 3 is greater than 4, no. So it remains the same, right? 6 and 8. Again the next two elements will be checked. 4 and 6, no, it is not greater, so you will not have swapping. Then the last condition, last two elements will be checked. So 2, 3, there is no swapping, right? So now pass 1, pass 2, pass 3, pass 4. Okay, after 4 passes you have got your elements inside the array will be in ascending order: 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. So this was your expected output, and after the 4 passes you have got the expected output. So this is how your bubble sort algorithm works. 4 passes, and inside each passes you are going to compare it 4 times. Okay, so if here ultimately if you want to sort n elements, then you will require n minus 1 passes. Okay, so here how many elements you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 elements, n is equal to 5. So how many passes you have? N minus 1. So it will be 5 minus 1, 4 passes. When you do 4 passes, you will be getting the numbers sorted in ascending order. So before going on to the topic, you know that what is the array, right? So here it is a one-dimensional array. If I take the array as A, okay, array name as A. So what is this first element? It will be A of 0. The index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what will be your second element? A of 1. Third element will be A of 2. Fourth element will be A of 3, and fifth element will be A of 4. So these are called as indexes. 0, always the index will start with 0, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now let's see the program. So how will you write the program for sorting? Okay, so first what is the step 1? So let me write it here. Step 1, you have to enter the number of elements in an array. Okay, so in the previous example, how many number of elements we have taken? 5 number of elements we have taken, right? That is your step 1. Now once you enter the elements of the array, number of elements of the array, you are going to enter the elements one by one, right? So the array size will be equal to now 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total number of elements what you are going to enter in an array. Now you are going to enter each element one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So what are the elements? Let me take the previous example: 8, 3, 4, 6 and 2. Okay, so these are the elements you're going to enter. That is your step 2. Once your elements is entered, these are the elements before sorting, right? So you have to print, you can print the numbers before sorting. So step 3, you will start with your swapping process. Okay, swapping process means, or comparison. If there is swapping or not swapping, you will be checking the condition, right? So last step, once all the passes is over, you will be printing the sorted output, that is ascending order output, right? So these are the steps to be followed. So in short, if I can tell this, step 1, you have to enter the number of elements of the array. Second, you have to enter the elements. So how will you enter the elements? You have to enter first a of 0, then a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, a of 4, right? So for that, what you will use? You will use a for loop, right? You can use a for loop when I is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here you will be having a for loop. Then in between this, you have to enter the elements before the sorting. For that also you will be using a for loop. Then you have to next one will be a swapping. So in the swapping, what and all you are doing, you are going to do 4 passes. Inside each pass also you are going to repeat the cycle, right? So you are going to use 2 for loop for it. So one for loop for your pass and the second for loop for your comparison or swapping comparison. Okay, so I can use that as nested for loop. So nested for loop will be used. At the last, you have to print the output. So when you print the output also, you have to print one by one, right? The elements of the array one by one. So again, you will be using a for loop. So this is how, in short, you can segregate your program. So let me start the program. Include stdio.h standard input output header file, so that you can use the printf and scanf statements directly. Void main, which indicates the start of the program. So what is this? Int n comma I comma j a of 100 comma 10. So all these are variables. Int is your data type. These are your variables n. Okay, and wherever you use I, j, I told that it will be used by your for loop, right? Now what is your a of 100? The maximum size of the array, right? A of 100 will be your maximum size. Array name is A. Okay, temp is another variable. So now what you are going to do for step 1, right? Enter the number of elements. So printf, what is a slash n? To signify your new line, enter the number. So this will be printed on your screen. The user will be asked, right? So to enter the number of elements. So now you can enter the element. So here what will you enter from the keyboard? You will enter, for example, 5 if you are entered. That 5 should go and store somewhere, right? For that, what you will be using? Scanf. Scanf %d. Why %d? Because it is of an integer type. And where it will store? It will store in the location of your variable n. That is why you have ampersand n. Okay, so 5 will be stored in your memory n, right? Memory address. So next, what you are going to do, once your number of elements is taken, now you have to print each elements one by one. So you have to enter each element one by one inside the array. So for that also you should ask, the user should understand, right? So what you will do, you have to display printf slash n enter %d elements. So %d will be replaced by your variable n. What is your n? 5. So enter 5 elements. Okay, it will be displayed on the screen. Enter 5 elements. So now it is asking the user to enter the 5 elements. So you will be starting to enter each element. So that enter elements, whatever you are entering, 5 elements which you are entering should be stored in the array, right? For that you will be using a scanf. So you can enter one by one. That's why you are using a for loop. That is your step 2. Okay, so for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So for first case, you are initializing I is equal to 0. So your variable I will be equal to 0. Now what will be the next condition? Whether 0 is less than n, it will check n is equal to 5. Whether 0 is less than 5, yes, it enters into the loop. So inside the loop, scanf, the first element %d, because it is an integer, it will be entered in the array a of I. What is the value for I? A of 0, right? Now I is equal to 0. So your first element will be entered now. Suppose if I am entering, what is your first element from the example? 8 will be entered, displayed. Okay, it will be stored in the a of 0. Okay, now again after executing, it goes and increments the value of I. Now I will become 1, right? Previously it was 0, it has become 1. Now again it will check the condition whether 1 is less than 5, right? Yes, the condition is true. Again it enters into the loop. Again it stores in a of 1. Now the current value is a of 1. So the next data will be entered. So this happens. happens till what is the value for n? N is equal to 5. So till where it will enter? 4 is less than 5. So a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, right, a of 4. 5 elements will be entered, a of 4, because the index is starting from 0. That's why 0 to 4. So when I becomes 5, what will happen? 5 is not less than 5. The condition is false. It comes outside the loop and it will execute the next statement. Okay, so printf the elements before sorting. So now you have stored it in the memory. Now in the output window you have to see these 5 elements what you have entered. Now for that you are going to use printf the elements before sorting. For that also you are going to use a for loop. So how will you print? For I is equal to 0, I less than, same cycle is being repeated. For example, let me tell the first one. I is equal to 0. Whether 0 is less than 5, yes, it is true. It enters into the loop. What is the statement here? Printf percentage d, percentage d. So it will be replaced, percentage d will be replaced by a of I. A of I, first case it is a of 0. So a of 0 will be printed on the screen. So first data will be printed on the screen. Now what will be the second? Next it increments the value of I. Again it checks the condition. I will become 1. 1 is less than 5. Yes, the condition is true. Again the second data will be printed. Slash t is for a tab space. So there will be a space and next value will be displayed after the space. Okay. So this cycle continues. So 8, 3, 4, 6, 2. So these will be the elements before sorting which will be printed on the screen. Okay. Now you are going for the nested loop. Next condition, that is your comparison. So I have told you this is for your pass. The first for loop will be for your pass and the second for loop will be for your condition or your checking, right? That is for your comparison. Okay, so let us take the first case for the pass 1. The pass 1, you are initializing I is equal to 1. It will check the condition whether I is less than 5. Yes, the condition is true. It enters into the loop. When it enters into the loop, there is another loop. Here what is initialized? J is equal to 0. Now J will become 0. Now it checks the condition whether 0 is less than n minus I. Right. So what is the value for I now? 1, right? N minus 1, because the length will be index is starting from 0. So the condition you have to check is 0 to 4, right? N minus 1. Now whether 0 is less than 4, yes, the condition is satisfied. So it enters into the loop again. Now it will check whether a of j is greater than a of j plus 1. What is the value for j now? 0. So it will check the first, let me write the first pass here. 8, 3, 4, 6, 2. The previous slide, whatever process I have told, it will start doing it process. Now here it is a of 0, right? J is equal to 0 for first condition. A of j plus 1 will be equal to a of 0 plus 1, that is a of 1. So this will be a of 2, a of 3 and a of 4. Now whether a of 0 is, it will check the condition whether a of 0 is greater than a of 1. 0 plus 1, right? Because j is equal to 0. Yes, it is greater. If it is greater, then there will be swapping. So you know the swapping algorithm, right? So 3 steps which you are using. If you don't know, I am telling it once again, explaining it once again. Now what a of j will be assigned to your variable temp. So what is your a of j now? A of 0, right? J is equal to 0. What is the value? 8. So temp will be now assigned 8. Now a of j is 0, right? A of j will be assigned a of j plus 1. What is your j plus 1? A of 1. That is 3 will be assigned to a of 0. Okay. Now a of j plus 1 is empty, right? A of 1 will be assigned the temp value 8. Now it is swapped. Now after this condition, what will be the value? 3, 8, 4, 6, 2. Okay. So now after swapping, what it will do, it is just inside the second loop only. So the next, the j value will be incremented. J will become j plus plus, right? J 0 plus 1. So j will be equal to 1. Again it checks the condition whether 1 is less than 4. Yes, the condition is true. Again the process happens. So in this case, a of j, that is a of 1 and a of 2 will be compared together. Next case, the next two will be compared. So in a single till this condition exists till what will be the value? Till 4 is less than 4, right? So it happens till j is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So when when it becomes 4, it comes out of the loop, and but still it is in the first loop. So it increments the value for I. Now I will be equal to 1 plus 1, I will be equal to 2. It enters into the past 2. Okay. So the first loop will continue till what is the condition? When I is equal to 4. So 4 passes, this cycle will go on. Okay. After the 4 passes, you will be getting the last condition, that is you will be getting the output. So what will be your swapped out, means sorted output? 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. After the 4th pass, you will be getting the value, right? Sorted value. Now you have to print this value, right? So again, what you will be using? Printf. Same what you have used for printing before sorting, you will be using the same statement for or after sorting also. For I is equal to 0, same loop will be used. For I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, printf percentage %d, the value inside the array a of I. So you will be getting 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 will be displayed on the screen. Okay. So this is your output screen. So enter the number of elements you have entered. I have entered it as 6. Enter 6 elements. So these are the 6 elements which I have entered: 21, 38, 62, 89, 45. The elements before sorting, see you had a tab space here. 21, 38, same numbers will be displayed. The elements after sorting are, you will be getting it in the ascending or sorted elements, ascending order: 2, 6, 21, 38, 45, 89.